Sandy, welcome back to Easy Cooking. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a cake. This one is the perfect cake for Father's Day, so hopefully we'll give it a try. I'm going to be showing you how to make an individual coffee cake with caramel icing. Really easy to make. The preparation time is going to be about 10 minutes, and then the cooking time is going to be about 30-35 minutes, and the decoration time is going to be about 10 to 15 minutes. But I really recommend that you cook the cake the day before or really early in the morning, because the cake needs to be completely cold before decorating it. So if you don't want to rush with the decoration, just cook it the day before. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's get started. Remember, you'll find the list of ingredients in the description box of this video, and you will also find it in my blog where you can print the whole recipe. Let's get started. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now grease and flour your pan. For this recipe I'm using a 6x2 inch round pan. Now in a bowl combine the dry ingredients, so start with the flour, the salt and the baking powder. Stir well until combined, and then add in the sugar. Stir once again until everything is well incorporated, and then set this aside for a minute. Now over here I have 1 ounce of unsweetened chocolate. This one is 100% all natural cacao, so it's good for you, much better than milk chocolate. So now I'm just going to chop the chocolate into small chunks, into small pieces, and then place them back into a small bowl. And now into this bowl we'll also add in the butter, and I'm going to chop the butter a little bit also. And I'm going to place this in the microwave for about 1 minute, so the chocolate and the butter can melt together. And this is how they look after 1 minute. Now I'm just going to stir them together and then set them aside for a minute. Now in a large bowl we're going to combine the milk with the espresso powder. Stir really well until the coffee is well dissolved. And it will take about a minute or so just to make sure the coffee is well dissolved. And then add in the egg and continue to whisk all these ingredients together until they are well incorporated. So after all the wet ingredients are well combined, now we're going to sift in the flour mixture. And then using a spatula, combine the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients without overmixing them. You just want to combine them all together. Then add in the melted chocolate and stir once again to combine. Do not overmix, you just want to incorporate everything together. And that's about it. The batter is done. So now we're going to pour it into the pan, and remember I'm using a 6x2 inch round pan. And the pan is already greased and floured. So once the pan is filled with the batter, shake it a little bit just to make sure the batter is well distributed in the pan. And now we're going to bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until the cake is completely cooked. You will know the cake is done when you insert a toothpick right in the middle of the cake and it comes out with a little bit of breadcrumbs. Once the cake is done, let it cool completely before icing it. Now to make the icing in an electric mixer, we're going to cream the butter and the cream cheese. So just mix together on high speed for about 2 minutes or until well combined and creamy. Now scrape down the sides of the bowl, and now we're going to add in the vanilla extract and the dulce de leche. Stir once again on high for another 2 more minutes until everything is well combined. Then scrape down the sides of the bowl again, set the speed to medium-low, and then we're going to add in half the powdered sugar, and we're going to beat this for about 20 seconds, and then right after that add in the rest of the sugar. Set the speed to high and continue to beat for about 2 more minutes or until the icing is nice and fluffy. Once the icing has that fluffy consistency, now it's ready. So once the cake is completely cold and the icing is done, now you can frost the cake. So remove the cake from the pan, and now we're going to slice it in half horizontally, so you will end up with 2 layers. Now we're going to work with the top layer first, and we're just going to even it out a little bit So grab a knife and cut as much as you need to give it a flat surface. As you can see, I'm cutting just a tiny bit just to even it out like I said, but feel free to cut as much as you need to make it nice and flat. Now we're going to work with the bottom layer. And we're just going to spread a little bit of icing right on the surface of the bottom layer. The icing on that layer is going to act as a glue to keep both layers together. And I'm going to be adding plenty of icing. I want my icing layer to be about half an inch thick or maybe a quarter of an inch thick. But you can make it as thin or as thick as you want. We have plenty of icing to work with, so don't worry about that. Just make it as thin or as thick as you like. After you're done spreading some of the icing on the surface of the bottom layer, now we're going to place the top layer right on the icing. Now we have a whole cake again. And now you just want to cover the whole cake with the icing. You already know my decorating is very simple, so I'm just using a spatula to even out the icing on the surface and on the sides of the cake. I'm using this skewer to keep the layers in place while I place the icing on the cake. And again, you can make the icing layer as thick or as thin as you like, but make sure you save about 1.5 cups of icing for decorating the cake. So just place aside 1.5 cups of this icing for decoration later. So like I said, I'm just going to be covering the whole cake with the icing, and I'm using a spatula to smooth it out. You want the icing to be in a nice even layer. Once the cake is completely frosted, now we're going to decorate it with the leftover icing. So we're going to pour the rest of the icing in a piping bag, and you can use whatever decorating tip that you like, and you can decorate the cake any way you want. I'm just going to be decorating the top of the cake, and I'm using the star tip. And I'm just going to go around the top of the cake with the star tip, making small circular movements to add some stars all around the top of the cake. And then once again, I'm going to go around the cake, placing more stars with the icing just next to the ones I just added. So I'm going to have two layers or two sets of stars. So now the cake is decorated with two sets of circular stars. Now right on the center of the cake, I'm going to place this heart. This shape is a cookie cutter, and I'm just going to be using it as a guide. As soon as I'm done using it, I'm going to remove it. And like I said, this shape is just a cookie cutter, and I'm going to place it right in the middle. And once the heart is right on the center, now with the piping bag, I'm going to finish decorating the top of the cake. Decorate everything but the inside of the heart. You want to decorate everything on the outside of the heart. And once you're done, now fill the inside of the heart with the chocolate candy. And once you're done, now grab the piping bag again, and once again go around the heart shape, just on the outside, just one time, just to add more dimension between the heart shape and the chocolate candy. Then remove the heart shape, and this is how it looks. Now we're going to transfer this to a plate. I chop a little bit of unsweetened chocolate right here, and to finish the cake, I'm going to dust it over the heart, just so the chocolate will fill in the space in between the candies. And I will also use a little bit of chocolate to dust on the surface of the cake and also on the sides of the cake. It's just a tiny little bit, just to add some contrast between the caramel icing and the chocolate. And because the cake is for Father's Day, I will place this little flag right in the heart. And this is how it looks. I think it looks really nice, and the best part is that it's made with lots of love, so your daddy will be very pleased with it. I'm going to slice it so you can see how delicious it looks. And then you can place another flag on that slice, and that's it. Happy Father's Day. Enjoy. To print this and some other recipes, please don't forget to visit my blog. The link is going to be down below. And remember, you will also find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Pinterest. I'm everywhere, so the links are going to be down below. If you want, you can check them out. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be notified of future updates. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.